welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Man United Agenda. From a Manchester United front, it has been a very quiet day in the news. We do have a few bits and pieces to get our, I don't know, minds around, but it has been a thin day. But before we get started, I just want to give a big plaudits to Cristiano Ronaldo. 947 career goals, the most in World Cup, and he has the most World Cup qualifying goals in history. So fair play to Cristiano Ronaldo. But let's welcome some people. Stephanie Griffith, how are you doing?
947.
Yeah. Patrick Pillow, how are you doing?
Some people don't even score that amount on FIFA over 25 years, 947 goals.
He wants 1,000, I think, before he retires.
That's
ridiculous. Yeah. Absolutely. Gotta love it, though.
Wow.
And, of course, Chat Sports also, how are you doing? But
can we just touch on that? It's an amazing stat, by the way. And when you consider that he wasn't scoring an abundance of goals, that sort of level, when he first started out as either at Sporting, at Man United, he wasn't getting 30 to 40 goals every year. So to get that sort of numbers, to get those numbers and reach that sort of target is great. Two questions would be, does he have to give some credit to Messi to sort of make him raise that level, to get to those sort of levels and actually maintain those sort of levels and give him that sort of target to go to, because those two were really going at it at one point, weren't they, with those sort of level? And so secondly, is he just obsessed now? Should he give someone else an opportunity, maybe for Portugal? Because obviously Rafael Leao, who's in his prime of his career, not getting games. Should he really be starting? Is it just because he's got that sort of presence and he's a great player? I started to question that a few years ago when I'm watching Portugal and thinking, what about the guy from PSG, Ramos? How's he going to feel? How's Rafael Leao going to feel not getting game time, So there's two things there. I'm not denying he's a good striker. He's obviously got a lot of goals, but is he too obsessed? And the first question was, would he have been that great if Messi wasn't around to help him up those levels? I've always wondered about that.
Well, I mean, the Messi debate, obviously, you do need a rival. That's just how life is. And in regards to his obsession, then if he's obsessed with scoring goals, that's great. You know what I mean? I don't see what the problem is. He's still scoring goals. Yes, he couldn't do it for United, although he did score 18 goals for us in the last season that he left. But it's crazy, man. The fact that he's still going. What is he? 30? What?
39. 40? It's 40. I think he's 40.
Yeah, he's the same age as me.
Yeah. And people considered him finished. Like, he's still going, and I know he's doing it in Saudi, but he's doing it on the international stage.
As well, yeah.
That's never changed. That really hasn't changed. So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And he still celebrates. He just goes up to the crowd and he's like this. And I love it. I love that. I absolutely love that. And that's the arrogance that we miss.
Rebel said he's the same age as him. Look at the difference. No disrespect.
Rebel, give us a sue. Give us a sue.
Be off work for 2 weeks.
But gentlemen, I'm going to bring us back down to earth, get us on task, because a little bit we do have to talk about. We may as well knock it on out and see what the people in the chat think of it. I'm going to start with Baleba. So there was some talk in the Mirror this morning which kicked it all off, that Brighton reportedly wanted €120 million or 104.6 million to sell Carlos Baleba. That's the price that Manchester United aren't willing to meet. And I suppose given the fact that he's been very poor this season so far, with good reason, because there's a risk there at that level of money. But what we do know to be sure is that Brighton do not want to sell. They have no plans to sell on this side of next summer's transfer window. So the only people that are quoting a price for Baleba are the Mirror. I think we can all take it with a pinch of salt, but £104 million, let's play the devil's advocate. Let's assume that there's some bit of credibility to this story. How how far over the level are they?
All right. So this is we're all in the same boat that we feel that this story isn't credible, maybe. So
Rubbish.
we'll pander to it then. I think 100 million was probably too expensive in January, in the summer. The fact that his form's dropped off doesn't necessarily mean that he's still not that same player, that same 100 million pound player. Was there a price given during the summer? Or was 100 million just randomly plucked out of the air? United aren't playing 100 million pound for no player. Not now, not that the way that their finances are. If he comes in at 100 million pounds, what wages is he on? 300 grand. They're not paying that for a 21-year-old who, I'm not going to say salt. I haven't been watching Brighton, so I don't know what his performances are. But the fact that he's always getting hooked, rightly or wrongly, some games they've gone on to win when he's come off. Some games they've gone on to lose when he's come off. So it's not all down to him. Are they scapegoating him? Do they want him to? Do they want to make him to be make him out to be the villain? I'll still take him. I'd take anybody over what we've got at the moment, but 100
when it was the summer though, because then time's a healer. Time is incredible. When it was the summer and we were pondering and we were like, someone trying to get that last fix because we were running out of time and we were desperate. We wanted Baleba, and when the 100 mil price was being thrown around, really and truly, did we care? Was we quite happy just to go ahead with it, or did we fight back and say, actually, no, 100 mil is too much? I'm pretty sure we all pretty much was happy with the 100 mil. Now we step back and look at it now and how time has gone by. Mr. B, you're saying you're not happy with the 100 mil. Are we all happy with 100 mil now? Or was we happy then?
Well,
I wasn't happy with it.
I think we all looking at him and he ticked the boxes for what we needed. That was the general perspective from most fans that this is the perfect guy. We need a guy that does A, B, and C. And he does A, B, and C. He's in the Premiership. Brighton are a selling club. Let's go for him. Keep in mind that Brighton did get good money for Salcedo as well, and he's proven to be value for money. I really do rate him. He's a proper player. Baleba, playing well in the Premier League. We haven't seen enough of him. I don't think it's right that Brighton should sell him straight away. They need to sort of get another season out of him before they do sell. And I do think they will sell. That's how they operate. That's how they've traditionally been, to sell players and showcase them and sell them on. So £100 million for Salcedo, and then a couple of years later, they got a player who's the next big thing. They would also be demanding that sort of prices. And there's nothing a shock for me there. It's about negotiation, isn't it? It's about how you go about that. We have sort of waved the flag early and say, we want you, and not many other clubs have done that yet. Other clubs have sat back and waited. Maybe that's a mistake from us to declare our interest so soon, because if we don't get him, we're going to look like mugs in the world of social media that we have today. People will sort of criticize that. But I do like the fact that we are identifying players that are young, ticking the box, that we definitely need. How many times we talked about midfielders on here? All the fans talk about needing midfielder as well. So there's no issue with identifying him and wanting him. The issue comes with the fans who don't pay the money necessarily, or are concerned about the price we're going to pay. I saw a comment in there saying we could buy 2 midfielders for that price, but we need our 2 midfielders going to tick the boxes for what we need. So I don't mind, as long as we're going for identifying the right targets and going for them full on, not doing a Frankie de Jong, just going full on and making sure we get our man. I don't mind paying 100 a bit more million to get Baleba if he's worth it. Regarding his attitude, I look at him as a player. Yes, I like him. The attitude thing, I think that's a misconception, because he's had his head turned. He's getting spanked a bit by the manager, dragging him off publicly to show that, look, I'm in charge here.
You said that the manager is scapegoating him. I don't agree with that. I know you said that before. I get where you're coming from, though. I don't think it's a scapegoat situation. I think it is him. But he's young. He's fed up. He wanted to move and it's not happened. So maybe there is a clash. But I don't think it's a scapegoat. I know where you're angling at, though.
Well, the manager had to be seen in front of his other teammates, in front of the other players, to say, hold on a minute, if you're not, if there's whispers that you've got desires elsewhere, even if it's to the detriment of our results, I'm going to pull you off just to show you, even though you're the best player on the park for us, just to show you we're in charge here. You're 21 years old, bro. You can't play like that around here. And I like that. I think that's good management. All right. Because there's no demands for them to win every game. They're punching above their weight. So I don't think there's any issue around that. And I don't think that should drop his price to say he's got an attitude problem all of a sudden, or we're buying a player with a suspected, he's not going to, when the going gets tough, he might, not perform. I don't see him not performing. He still does a good job, in my opinion. But I just think it's just more speculation. Like we said, we're the showcase club. Any news about us, anything to do with Man United is put out there. And that's great for us because we have topics to talk about. But Baleba still, for me, is the one out of all the players that you talk about, Wharton, and we were talking about Elliot Anderson and all these other guys. I still think Baleba is a good fit.
Yeah. That brings me on to my next question. Obviously, we're kind of firmly dismissing.
Rebel, you asked a question. You haven't answered your question.
Oh, about Baleba?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the maths answer. I think 100 million is too much. I think some sort of a structured deal would have to be looked at, maybe where if he kind of attains certain things that maybe there'd be more money given to Brighton. The one positive I will say that's there is he's on bare minimum wages at Brighton at the moment. So when you factor in the likelihood of what we'd have to increase his wages to against, we'd say, an established midfielder that might cost us half his transfer fee, maybe it will work out. But at the end of the day, we've taken risks on the likes of Sancho, Anthony, and we've made big mistakes in the transfer market. At 100 million, it took Moises Caicedo a year and a bit to settle at Chelsea after he moved from there to Chelsea. So, given the state of our squad, I just don't think we can afford to outlay that much on a singular player. That's almost the majority of the transfers that we've done this summer.
Yeah.
But Rebel, he was your golden boy a few months ago. You were saying this is the guy who must get. You were championing him all the time. What's changed? I don't get it.
I'm looking at
the price. The price should be right. 100 million. I don't see why you don't value that. What's changed? Have you been influenced?
Here, I'll answer that question for you. I thought we had the likes of Mainu and a few others that meant that other positions weren't a problem. We've now gone into 6-7 games of this season, and we're seeing that we have major problems in central midfield. It's not just a singular problem in central midfield. We're seeing issues at the wing-back position that they're not quite doing enough in order to be considered Premier League quality, maybe, in the majority of cases. We have still got to learn whether or not Sonny Lamines is a number one keeper or a number two keeper.
He's the number one. He's the number one.
He's the number one. Until the end of the season, Rebel. Please. Rebel.
End this,
Till the end of the season. I'm with Rio. He's our number one until the end of the season.
Done it again.
I mean, long term. We need to see how he plays out for the season before we can decide whether or not, okay, we're getting reserve keeper in now to go with him, or whether we're going after number one and putting him as a reserve while he cuts his teeth. These are questions we don't know the answer to. 100 million at the time seemed brilliant because he was one of those midfield players that had the engine and the go of two players. But now I'm looking at it and kind of going, well, we need two midfielders, we need two wing backs, and that doesn't leave a lot of scope for 100 million.
You think we need two wing backs, Rebel?
Well,
I agree with that. I think so. I do.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've been saying that for ages though. I've always said the wing backs. We need better wing. I'm happy with Dorgu. I'm okay with Ahmad, but then after Dorgu, you've got Delo that gets shifted on that side, and then I'm not happy with Delo in general. And then you've got Mazraoui. Mazraoui, yeah, he's okay, I suppose.
But he's too defensive to be
so
out
you
there,
need two solid wing backs in this team, and I've said that from day dot. To be fair,
and I'll be honest with you, I think if the departures happen that we think will happen, Ahmad won't be playing wing back next season. He'll be back as one of the 10 rotations.
Depart. Oh, okay. We'll I don't know. I don't know. I don't think a lot of those. I think a lot of those players are going to end up being unhappy before the end of the season. The African Cup of Nations is coming. You know, I'm hearing West Ham are looking at Xerxes. Xerxes not going nowhere unless they're going to pay big money for Xerxes. I don't think he goes anywhere in January.
Yeah, and we'd have to replace him.
I just like Stephanie, big up Solo, big up Brenny as well in the chat. Thanks for your comments. Just want to touch on what Stephanie's saying here. She's saying don't fork out 100 million, please. You know, and the second thing she's saying is Chelsea and City can afford to make mistakes with expensive signings. United don't have that luxury to get it right. Let's look at all the top sides right now. Who Arsenal spending 100 million on a player. You got Chelsea spending 100 million on players. You got Liverpool now. Even they're the ones who never used to do that. Have spent big money on players. We're sitting down low in the league. We're not performing. Isn't it that time we spent 100 million on a player too? Is that what's missing here? To buy quality. If you want quality, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, but
I'm just surprised because these guys are doing well in the league and we're not, and they're spending big money on players.
Yeah, but they've been spending massive amounts of money on players. We've been spending and we've had no return from it. We just spent 70 on -9, who we're now going to sell for half price. We spent 50 million on a goalkeeper who couldn't catch shit. We had Anthony, 75 million. So we spent the money.
Yeah, but that you see, I mean, the 100 million when you buy, it's like the $6 million man. He always will defeat the $1 million man. You know what I mean? Because he's a $6 million man. You know, they're building faster, stronger, better. And that applies to all £100 million players as well. You can't go wrong with £100 million players. You told me.
You're talking about Willis.
Thank you.
You tell me £100 million player that's flopped.
No,
right.
but I get that. I get that. But they've been kind of not so much Arsenal.
Enzo Fernandez.
And Chelsea's like an anomaly in the whole situation because they're spending from here, there, and everywhere. But I agree. Yeah, I think a team should be going out to spend that kind of money, but only when you're putting that last vavavoom, that last final touch on that jigsaw that you've not got that final piece. And I think that's what we need to do. But I don't think we're ready for that, to throw in a £100 million player in this shit show of what we've currently got. I think we need to work our way up to it. Just in case, we do fork out a 100 mil player for a player that isn't the final product, and they've not had the time to be solidified in a foundation that's working currently. It has worked out. Patrick, good to see you, kind sir. It has worked out well in regards to Declan Rice and Caicedo. For me, Caicedo is considered the best DM in world football right now.
How long is it taking him to get to that though? How long has he been at Chelsea?
Not too long. But again, he's been.
Hold on, no, isn't it? Is this his third year at Chelsea?
Second.
You sure?
I think he's always been doing the business. Come on now, he's done the business from day one. Enzo Fernandez is another £100 million player. He's done the business.
Not from day one though. No, not from day one.
But they've had again. I think Steph said it. They've got the ability to. It might catch up with them in many years to come. To be fair, but because Chelsea have won the World Club Championship, they've paid that back already. If that makes sense, they're in these competitions which are allowing them to pay this back. Arsenal, Declan Rice, Arsenal fans will tell you that he's paid it back. Maybe not just yet, but they're well and truly on the way for that being paying back. If we did that, it could be a costly mistake.
I think that. See, third season. Here we go.
Third season.
So wait, are you guys saying that Salcedo hasn't been doing the business since day one?
No. What I say to you,
what are you gauging it on?
That first season at Chelsea, you see, for £100 million, you want your player to dominate a game this season, and for half of last season, I think I said they've dominated games. That first season and a half at Chelsea, I don't think Caicedo was the player that he actually is now. I'm not saying he was a bad player.
So does that make him a bad investment, considering that he's 20.
No, well, they can afford. The thing is with Chelsea, they can afford him. They could afford to have him stinking out the place for 2 years. You understand? We can't afford to do that.
He's starting games. You're going on like
No.
he's been playing like 2s out of 10 or something like that.
No.
What I'm saying now,
you think so? Since day one, he's been great at Chelsea.
Not from day one, he's been a consistent break. You gauge him. We're not gauging him by goals or anything like that. Let's gauge him by an eye test. He's breaks up the play. He's big and strong. He bounces people out off the ball. He's just a dynamic, unique player, and that hasn't changed for me. The only thing is that he's now getting older, strong, and more familiar with his teammates and everything. And he's a main player for Chelsea. They just won the World Club Championship, you know. So for me, that's money well spent. They might look at other players, say, "Oh, it's this guy." For me, he's the rock in for that team. He makes them tick. So all great teams have to have a good, strong centre midfielder. He is unique in what he does, and I think he's well worth the value for money. I would never say, and I just think it's a mad take to say that he didn't perform from day one, because
he didn't. Chelsea fans were on his back for a lot of the time, thinking they wasted 100 million. But I think, to be fair to Moises Caicedo, when you compare him to Declan Rice and the price tags, Declan Rice had established himself and his team in the Premier League for quite a long time before he actually got his move to Arsenal. He was very much an established Premier League midfielder, whereas Moises Caicedo only had a year and I think a couple of months at Brighton before Chelsea picked him up.
Was it Declan Rice 100 million? Baleba's
He
not in
was.
the same category.
Yeah.
There it is. Got another one for Mitesh. I'm worried that Baleba has the Sancho mentality due to his dip in form.
We won't mention Sancho because he's in a lot more trouble at the moment.
Have you guys heard about Sancho?
Oh, no. Please. Are we allowed? Oh, please. Oh,
we're not allowed to say that.
Is it not one for here? Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry. Private. Just please. Private chat. Private chat, please. I need to. Sorry, you can't do this.
Wait to ask. I was going to bring it up because it's not really. We seems like we don't care about this player anyway. Is he still on our books?
Who's Sancho?
He is. Yeah. Okay. It's another disaster story about him. He's dating a rapper or female rapper.
I'm going to send to you. Yeah, but we're not allowed to talk about this.
Okay, all right. Let's leave it at that. But that just says don't talk about mindsets, because his mindset.
Okay. Please, private chat. Please. Just private chat.
This is poor that I'm not on this.
And he's only a £75 million player. Remember that. He's only a £75 million player. I think the 100 million mark is the benchmark where you guaranteed that you're not going to get a flop. Yeah. I can't think of a £100 million player that's really flopped that badly. And you mentioned players that we've had. Anthony, 50 million for Anana. That's like Timu. Toys that will break. You understand what I'm saying?
Who spends 50 million on a goalkeeper, bro?
I'm just talking perspective. You want Technics 12-10, you buy it and long-lasting, solid, reliable. You get that's a £100 million player. But you want some poor tin pan turntable for 50 million. You might go. It's going to scratch. It's going to break. Something's going to go wrong with it. So buying 50 million these days, to measuring it up, that's not good enough.
Can I just point out? Yeah, but you mentioned about Onana. He's the third most expensive keeper transfer ever. So you can't exactly say that you weren't spending top tier money there.
And that's what I was talking about.
Not 100 million, though, is he?
But goalkeepers now, come on.
For a goalkeeper, come on, man.
Kepa to Chelsea was 70 mil, to be fair. And that didn't work out. So 70. Kepa to Chelsea.
Kepa was 71 million.
That was a while ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So
nobody says anything.
That didn't work out.
70 mil.
Wow. But we're not allowed to talk about that. See what I mean? That if that was Man United, that would be
okay, enough.
I'm
going to Don't let Yabba see that.
Stephanie, get up that thing. We talk about Stephanie. It's Arnold when you need him.
I'm going to move on to our second topic because we're 25 minutes in. Matish, we need. That's connected to something else. I only got that after. But moving right along. this transfer malarkey the bubble seems to be finally bursting. This takeover malarkey, the bubble seems to be finally bursting. Stock exchange is starting to slowly drift back to where it was. Is that an indicator? Absolutely not. But it means the market is not as boyish and bullish as at the authenticity of the reports that have come out. There was 2 more today, and we're going to quickly go through them.
Can we agree after today, because the international break's over after today, can we agree not to see another bloody graph? The only tables I want to see is us moving up the table, hopefully.
Yes. But
Oh, he's in the sun. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I need to set myself.
Sorry. I'm dressing the Sancho thing. Sorry, I got. Sorry.
Let's talk about the 2 posts that came out today. Chris Wheeler, from the Daily Mail, basically talking about his tweet from the Saudi sports minister. They have no idea where this has come from. They won't necessarily have to know, because if the Glazers are holding talks with whoever and wherever, that's entirely their business. If United or the Glazers are in talks or selling the club and it's advanced, they would need to tell the New York Stock Exchange. That's one giveaway that this couldn't be that close. So basically, pouring cold water on the Saudis minister's tweet and saying this is a load of cod's wallop. On the other side, Ben Jacobs, he's saying it's not Saudi. He's getting denials from sources that it's Qatar and that Sheikh Jazim may return. So he's saying that's not happening either. But there's a group specifically from the UAE that are interested and are exploring whether or not they can put together a consortium and have actually approached some ex-Manchester United players not to invest but to be ambassadors. That's where we're at the moment. This group may be advanced in terms of initially putting itself together, but they haven't placed a bid, nor have they even alerted the Glazers yet. We have to wait and see how it develops. So all this has been developed from the fruit of a tweet from somebody in Saudi Arabia connected with sports that, to be fair, of a reputable nature. But the reality is, a bit like when the takeover was taking place, nobody knows nothing. Over to the panel for comment.
It just sounds like a bunch of people are trying to reform the Power Rangers in the background, aren't they, to try and take us over? That's what it sounds like ultimately. Like, the Sheikhs put the tweet out, obviously massive module in boxing at this moment in time. He's put a tweet out, it's shaking a few feathers. Surely he's done it off the back of some kind of knowledge, though. So if he knows the Power Rangers are getting back together behind the scenes, then that's absolutely perfect by me. So if it means there's something going to come out of the woodwork later down the line, then so be it. But for now, I'm guessing that's why the famous Rebel graph has come back down due to the storm kind of blowing over.
It reminds me, every time I see Turkey El Sheikh, he makes me laugh. He reminds me, I think he could be someone like Peter Sellers or Inspector Clouseau, because it's just a stereotypical sort of disguise, with a big moustache and the tea towel and that's what got Sam Allardyce. Remember Sam Allardyce got duped by some Saudi guys that came in with the look and everything else and giving it all the Saudi talk. I think it was Sam Allardyce and ended up admitting to something on camera and lost his job because of it. I just every time I look at Turkey Al Sheikh, he's doing great things for boxing, for WWE, for all kind of sports in the Saudi region, and invested a lot of money. Fair play to him, but I just cannot take him seriously. I just think he's a man with just a moustache and taking everyone else for a ride. So I'm really surprised by that. My question is, did he actually make a quote about Man United, a tweet? Did he actually mention that? Because he says anything like that, that would stir up a lot of interest. But yeah, as Rebel said earlier, it's like Manuel, another guy with a fake moustache from 40 Towers. I know nothing.
Here we go. See,
All right.
Oh, wow.
You see, me and Stephanie Griffiths are. I didn't see that quote, but me and Stephanie Griffiths are on the same page. I know nothing. Yes,
I
Rebel.
need to come in with just a bit of fairly recent relevant news. Ruben Amorim is reported to have had a go at Manuel Ugarte in the same meeting where he told Alejandro Garnacho to find a new club. He told him, "You're not the same player as you were when you were at Sporting." So that maybe suggests why he's so marginalised this year.
It's like Muhammad Ali said to Harold Carcel, the commentator. He said, Carcel said to him, "You're not the same man you used to be, Muhammad Ali. This is when he's getting older." And Muhammad Ali replied by saying, "Well, I just spoke to your wife, and she said you're not the same man you used to be." But that's great, Muhammad Ali. But yeah, it's when you hear things like that, it might be BS, but I can kind of believe that because we all watching his performances of Ugarte, and we're a bit like scratching our heads to say, were you ever that good? Because he's not performing, and I wouldn't be surprised if the manager has said that, even though I think it's BS.
It came from Laurie Whitwell, by the way.
Okay, well, there you go.
It's a very out there comment if he said that, like, "You're not the man you used to be." Is he doing it? Is he doing it in a motivational way, or is it,
No, I think he's acknowledged. I think he's acknowledged that he's shit. I think he's realized, and guess what? If he tells him now and pisses him off enough, he could be out by January, as Chat Sports said, Lone FC again, because nobody's not going to buy Ugarte. You know what I mean? So that's another player that we don't want, but they can't be replaced, unless he's suddenly gonna.
Would you prefer Casemiro starting over him?
But how much game can Casemiro play at 107?
No, I'm just saying it's the best. You can't. It's who we've got. I'm just saying. Would you prefer Ugarte?
No, they need to do something now. They need to do something. I know there's a couple of guys, a couple of youngsters training with the first team. Obviously, they're not going to be ready. Is it Swaite or?
Yeah.
I forget his name. Yeah. He's only 17, but apparently he's been causing bits in there. So, maybe something might happen. I mean, he's going to be further down the line. But
just want to shout out. I want to be the first one to say it. Man United agenda. JJ Gabriel. I don't know if anyone's mentioned him.
Causing chaos.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
It's great to see. See the tennis ball.
Yeah, amazing. A bit like Maradona used to do. But yeah, we should be following these youngsters. It seems like there's a generation of players coming through now, which will be special. Could be special, but we just don't know.
Lacey trained with
he's been talked about. He went to Bayern, they talked about him again. Yep. Lacey taking free kicks, isn't he? He's just banging free kicks for fun.
Yeah.
But it's a transition. How do you get into the senior squad like that? You have to be extra special to jump from that level to a senior squad for Man United with the expectations that high. But hopefully we're going to get one out of this bunch of players that will come through and deliver.
Absolutely. Interesting comment from Johnny Hill, though. He's saying that it's all well and good, Amron saying that, but he called Luke Shaw world class and also plays Dallo every week, so the hypocrisy from him is shameless.
There you go.
Luke Shaw is a top quality player, in my opinion.
Now?
Yes,
but come on, man. Please don't do this.
He's still a top quality player.
He's not.
What's stopping him being a top quality player?
Age? The fact that he can't run anymore?
He's nowhere near the player that we bought from Blackburn, wasn't it, all those years ago? He's not anywhere Southampton, sorry, yeah. He's nowhere near it.
Well, I still think, didn't he score in the Euros a few years ago at Wembley?
Years ago. Again, you're talking about years ago.
As soon as the Butcher's back, Shaw is on the bench.
He's done. Definitely.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Possibly. Any news about the Butcher?
Apparently, that's the only one we're getting at the moment. I
think after the international break, I'm thinking I've got that in my head for some reason.
Yeah, no, that's what's been the latest. I think they're attempting to maybe get him back a little bit earlier, but I highly doubt it.
Don't rush him. Don't rush him.
At Burnley with Walker. No, they're not going to rush him. The laptop will say otherwise, won't it? So I think that'll be the case on that.
Sorry. Jale is saying here, that Shaw is actually playing foot. The fact that Shaw is actually playing football after his injury is a miracle. I hear that, but we're not Christian Aid. We should have sold him to somebody else and let them be able to deal with it. You know what I mean? That's more my thing. Realize when to cut the sentiment out of the deal. You know what I mean? They must have realized that he couldn't do it. He wasn't going to be doing it for, earlier on. The fact that he's still 8 years, 9, 10 years, Shaw's been with us, bro. It's a long time, man.
But we have a lot of players that probably overstayed their welcome. There's rumours going around that Barcelona are looking for alternatives already. Whether that's true or not, we'll
Do
probably
you know what?
see.
I love the fact that every single day it changes. 1 minute he's staying, 1 minute for 26 million pound for the amount that Rashford has done for them. Trust me, he's staying at Barcelona. Mark my words, he's staying at Barcelona.
Snip.
He's been one of their best players.
He was
People
part of
can
their.
moan, people can laugh. Oh, Rashford this.
Yeah.
He has been one of their key players this season.
He was part of their new campaign actually, so that was a big thing for him. So they had the Ed Sheeran sponsorship campaign for their Barcelona shirt, and you had the likes of Yamal, Alexia Putellas, obviously of the women's team, Bon Mati, and then Rashford was also part of the advertisement. So I reckon they're probably looking at that and thinking excellent. And to be fair, you know what? Fair play to him. Absolutely fair play to him. He's absolutely killing it, and hopefully that helps us, get some cash for him. And if it's not Barcelona, there'll be a suitor for him. Absolutely.
I heard a quote today on the radio. I just missed out on actually who said it. I think it might be Thomas Tuchel or someone else said if he was getting more assists and goals, he would be considered world class. Is that the quote? Did anyone hear that quote?
Yeah. He said it.
Was
Yeah.
it from the Barcelona manager, maybe, or was it Thomas Tuchel?
No, it's Thomas Tuchel.
Thomas Tuchel. Okay.
But we have spent the last 37 minutes talking about a very light news day in Manchester United Football Club. I think we're all in agreement that we've seen nothing of substance that we can really hang our hats on and say is completely credible.
What's your saying? The meat and the bones?
Yes, indeed. But tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, the Man United agenda enters the Colosseum. We go to war.
Spartans.
Yabba, Mr. Positivity, is going to go one-on-one with possibly Mr. B, possibly Rio, possibly the Rebel, on various topics. And chat, this is where you get a chance to come into your own, because we're going to be looking for your views on these topics and to see who gave the better argument. So tomorrow, enter the Colosseum.
I love this. I love it a lot. This sounds really good, exciting. It got me tingling all over. Imagine that. This is good football tape. We could be in the pub having an argument about, who's better than who's done better, done something better. But the thing is, you have to be sat in a dock and questioned and cross-examined. This is what makes it good about these things. So if you got a take and you're making a claim, make sure you're ready, guys, to back it up.
Yeah. Let's say you better bring a bigger axe. It's 3-1, and Mr. Portis is salivating at the idea of Mr. B versus Yabba.
It's been a long time, Mr. B.
Flyweight versus super heavyweight, boy.
Here, I think
what are the takes, Rebel, with this Colosseum? Are you just throwing things in the arena, or is there predetermined takes?
There will be a proposition. For example, that, I don't know, Wayne Rooney's Manchester United's greatest ever striker. Okay. Somebody will take on the formative, and someone will take on the other side.
And is there a timer on who gets to say whatever? Because
I think we'll have to put some element of a clock on us, because we can't let someone speak a thesis from start to finish. So
we got Rush on tomorrow as well, so it's going to be interesting to hear his side of things as well. And obviously, guys in chat, we want you to have your kind of opinion with whatever the question or whatever quotes Rebel decides that whatever madness is going to be spouting from his mouth tomorrow.
Just example, just give you a demonstration. Really, I don't know if you watched the show yesterday, or I think it was yesterday, but the question was asked about Man United's best player. Was it Man United's best? No, the Welsh player. Who's the best Welsh player that's ever existed?
What, for Man United or in general?
No, just in
in
general.
general.
Yeah,
Oh, Gareth
something
Bale.
like that.
Gareth Bale.
Let
Do you think he's
Yeah.
outstandingly
Yeah.
best?
Yeah, Gareth Bale. Yeah.
me clarify.
Over Ryan Giggs and Ian Rush.
Yeah.
John
Multiple
Charles?
Champions League, 5 Champions Leagues, multiple Champions Leagues. I know he had that wonderful goal against Inter Milan and what he did, and he fell flat for Real Madrid. But no, Gareth Bale.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to expand it a bit further. The proposition that it was based on was on TikTok. There was the player that was selected as the greatest ever British and Northern Irish player that they started with was Gareth Bale. They listed off, I think, 5 or 7 players, including Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes, Bex, Georgie Best, Brian Robson, Charlton, and these boys said bare nothing and said that Bale was better than all of them.
Look, people. This is what I'm saying. People are missing. How many Ballon d'Ors has Bale got? You know, people are missing the boat here. John Charles, you mentioned Bobby Charlton. These guys are proper players. Stanley Matthews, Duncan Edwards, even for the short time here. Who's the best British player of all time? You got Gascoigne as well. That should get some consideration. You got Jimmy Johnson, the great winger from Celtic. You know, there's so many great players. So I think it's a lot of modern day bias to say Gareth Bale. Yeah, he was outstanding, but I think that still it's not conclusive to say that Gareth Bale is the greatest of all time when you're disrespecting. I mean, to throw Lampard into the mix. I mean, come on.
Oi, leave Lampard.
yeah, of course. We forgot about this one, didn't we? Oh, who was there? Do you guys remember? Was it last week?
Yes.
I heard it.
I nearly cut him off and deleted his StreamYard access, boy.
Oh my days. Anyway, thankfully, we're on to a new week and we can try and forget about that one. George, I read a story. Just by the way, just about George, I read a story the other day that when George Best was getting older, I think it was 1976, he'd left Man United, gone to Fulham. His drinking was really evident at that point. And they were playing Holland in the qualifier, this Northern Ireland. And one of the Dutch guys said, look, George Best, I've been watching him. He's not the guy he used to be. Johan Cruyff is clearly the best player in the world. And George Best said, all right, yeah, we'll see about that. I'm going to guarantee I'm going to nuts him in the game tomorrow. So they played, Northern Ireland played Holland, and he got the ball out wide, jinked inside, ended up from the one wing to the next wing just to nuts Cruyff. And he did it and raised his fist in the air and said, yeah. And no one knew what he was on about until afterwards they realised the quote. George Best, let's not forget about him. But anyway, yeah.
And I just say that John O'Shea, not McTvigo. We have been the Man United agenda. Good night.